Hi there, this is Kristen. Welcome to another process video, and today I'm working on 30 days of sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, and I am working on sketch number 10. As you can see, I've already kind of started this, so I had hit record and was recording, and for some reason it stopped, turned off, didn't record. So I am working on this sketch here, and I'm using Hip Kit Club. I believe that this is technically June's kit. I've gotten so confused because I've kind of gotten like behind on using my hip kit. So I'm like a little bit like, is this June or July? I'm not sure. I think this is June. So I'm actually going to document quite a few photographs of my daughter feeding the giraffes. I guess the giraffes, she says giraffes. So I always want to say giraffes because I think it's hilarious how she says that. I don't know why she says it that way, but she does, giraffes. And so I pick out this kind of giraffe pattern paper, and then I like this orange kind of tiger print paper since we were at the zoo. I will actually end up doing a layout of my other son. So my younger son, my middle child didn't want to feed the giraffe. So I didn't have pictures of him, but I do have pictures of my daughter and my son both feeding them. So I will do a separate layout of him and the pictures that we took of him while he was feeding them. But she loved it. My little animal lover. So the sketch shows like 2 strips of paper at the top and the bottom, 6 pictures with, kind of a square paper behind it. So I was really trying to adhere pretty strictly to the sketch as much as I could. The base paper is one of the Hip Kit Club Solid packs that you could get. And I'm being good. I am putting these, I'm putting the magnets down on my layouts, and that way I make sure I'm on screen. So I'm really trying to be cognizant of that because I keep losing myself on this because this is a new glass mat. So I kind of forget where I'm supposed to be kind of keeping my layouts at so I can make sure they're on screen. And so I've been a little bit better about trying to keep the magnets on it, just in that way I'm keeping it where it's supposed to be. And here I'm just making sure that visually it's all kind of fairly closely lined up. I usually do this visually, and I'm usually pretty good visually, like about where things are supposed to go. I'm usually not too far off. So in this kit, they had these vellum pieces. And they're kind of distressed looking. They look like they've kind of got paint splatter on them. I love these things. The only problem with them is you get 2 letters to each, two of each letter. That's what I'm trying to say. 2 of each letter. And so you have to be a little bit picky about your, either your title or how you're going to use them. The other issue is that they're pretty big. And so the sketch showed like you had the title up at the top left, I believe. So I decided I was going to do, since these are bigger, I decided I was going to do it split. So top left and bottom right. So I decided that my title was going to be tall order, just because, it was like almost like the giraffes were coming up and ordering their food and they're tall. So to me, it just made sense. And I obviously had to be kind of picky about what letters I had in the title because I only have 2 of each. And so I've got to be kind of cognizant of that. Really, if I could get like a whole pack of these with like a bunch of letters instead of like the thickers or the like the foam stickers, alphabets, I really like these. I just think they're really pretty. And it adds a lot of color to the layout too. So, Even maybe like some smaller ones too would be great. I really enjoy those vellum. They're just really neat. And so I've actually worked with those vellum pieces before. They've got more solid ones from, I think it was the February kit of this year. And I was gluing those with wet glue, and I figured out not to do that. So I would actually recommend doing just your regular tape runner adhesive, because really you don't see it. Maybe more behind the solids. I think these kind of hide a little bit more since they've got more of that kind of mixed media look to them. But I really feel like you don't notice it as much if you use just like your tape runner adhesive on it. So I'm trying to pull in some different ephemera pieces. This circle piece says life is the greatest adventure, I think. It says something like that, or the biggest adventure, something like that. And I don't know, I think this video cuts out while I'm working with this ephemera. Unfortunately, it just turned off for some reason. I didn't hit it, I didn't stop it, I didn't pause it, it just stopped. So this little kind of barcode piece, that is a chipboard. And I believe that's the one that says my favorite. There were a couple different. So it shows, for this sketch, it shows a cluster down at the bottom left, a cluster at the right, and a cluster at the bottom right. And I think the cluster at the bottom right was supposed to be smaller. I did try to put a little bit on there, but I kind of felt like since I had that second part of the title there, I just ended up not putting any ephemera there. I just felt like then it started looking too busy and kind of took attention away from that title. So I just ended up doing the two clusters and kind of considered that my third cluster, I guess. This says what an epic moment, and that is a chipboard piece too. So see, you can see I was trying to like think of maybe putting like a little cluster down there, but I just felt like then it just was too much. Just keep it simple there. So and I think it cuts away from me doing the florals. So like you can see the floral pack there on the right hand side. It had like a lot of different types of florals. So it had like kind of newspaper print florals. It had more watercolor looking florals. It had florals that looked more kind of doodly, I guess, doodly type florals. I definitely had to get this giraffe worked on there. So I saw that in the die cut set, and I was like, this has to go on here. And I wasn't sure if I was going to put it up here or put it down there. So because at the top right there, it was a family next to us that was feeding them, I really didn't want them to be as noticeable. I kind of felt like they were kind of taking attention off my daughter, since she was just barely in the foreground. But I wanted to try to get the giraffe's head in the shot, so it was kind of like one of those where I had to kind of step out to do it. So I end up remedying that with putting some florals there. So I was thinking initially of using the giraffe feet there and kind of keeping it that way, but then I thought maybe that imposed a little bit too much on hers. So that's where you'll see me start to pull in these florals a little bit and experiment with those. So I will include the playlist down below. Here is the finished layout. I think it turned out really cute. But there's a playlist for people who are playing along on YouTube. There's also a Facebook group. So I will include those links down below so you can go check those out. And I appreciate you for coming by to watch another process video.